Are you a flutist that struggles to know what to practice? Or maybe you have so many things you want to practice but have no idea how to manage it all? If so, this video is perfect for you. I'm going to take you through my weekly practice journal setup that reduces overwhelm, keeps me focused, and helps me see how much progress I'm making. It took almost 30 years of playing the flute to figure out how to organize my practice time, and I hope by sharing these tips with you, you can figure it out a lot faster than I did. Okay, are you ready? Let's get started. The best way to improve as a flutist is to have a plan and stay focused on that plan. For me, I use a weekly practice journal, and it helps me to do both. I use this paper notebook to plan out what I will practice and to keep track of how things went that week. Each 2-page spread is a new week that I label with the date at the top. In the first section, I list each area I need to practice for the week with bullet points, and then create a daily grid so I can mark off what I did each day. I don't know about you, but checking things off of a list is so motivating for me. This grid method is really useful also because if I know that I have a hectic day coming up without much time to practice, I can just cross it out so I know how to tackle my priorities on the other days when I will have more time. Or if I didn't have time to get to a particular area that day, I have a visual reminder to start there the next day. This week, my list includes long tones, harmonics, scales, articulation, etude, new solo music, revisiting old solos to keep them fresh, flute and harp pieces, and research for an upcoming recital, and any orchestral excerpt work I'd like to do. The next part of my journal is a space to write down distracting or intrusive thoughts. I tend to really struggle with negative thoughts or memories creeping in while I'm practicing. I find that it's better just to write them down right away when they pop in my mind rather than to wait for them to spin around for several minutes and make me crazy. This way I can let the negativity go and focus on what I'm doing. I like to think of it as a form of meditation. I let the thought go and refocus on the music. No self-judgment or shame, just redirecting myself back to what's important. It's really cool to look back to past entries and see how the thoughts that seemed so big and so scary ended up being really nothing at all. The next space I have is for writing down all of the to-do items that come to mind while I'm practicing. If I'm not battling negative thoughts, I'm probably thinking about something I need to do later. Can you relate? When the thought comes, I just stop for a second, write it down, and move on. I can relax knowing that the note will be there when I'm finished, so that I can address it when I'm finished practicing. The next, and probably most important part of my weekly journal is to keep track of what is going well. This is my wins section, where I can write down anything that happened that I am proud of. The hope is that when I'm feeling discouraged, I can look back at my lists from previous weeks and realize how much progress I'm making and how much joy music brings to my life. And lastly, I have a practicing to-do list. When I'm working on any aspect of playing or a piece of music, there will always be things I need to improve. Maybe it's the way I'm holding my arms or shoulders. Maybe it's a droopy pitch or a difficult scale passage that doesn't seem to want to work. As these things come to my attention, I just write them down, let the thought go if I don't have time to address it right away, and know that I'll see it the next time I look at the list. Having these things written down does two things. First, it takes the emotion out of the problem. Having a pitch that is flat isn't something to feel bad about and to tie to my self-worth. It's something I can work on to correct. Secondly, having the clear list helps with my tendency to be overwhelmed. I can look at the list, decide one thing to work on, and save the rest for later. Okay, how do you manage your practice time each week? Do you use a journal like I do? Or do you do something completely different? I'd love to hear about it in the comments section below. And if this video has been helpful for you, I would love it if you would like, subscribe, and share with your fellow flute friends. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you again soon.